Squiz Kids acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands on which we podcast, the Turrbal and Kombumerri people.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello, faithful Squiz Kids listeners, and welcome to the Kids vs. Adults Weekly News Squiz. Your chance to see who's had their listening ears on and been paying the most attention to the week that just was. I'm Bryce Corbett. All week in the Squiz Kids Today podcast, we've been bringing you the big news stories of the day, run through our kid-friendly filter to make sure you know all you need to know about the world around you. Now, it's time to test how much of the week's news you've retained, and in the process, see who's smarter, kids or adults. Plus, of course, because it's a Friday, we've got all today's birthday shout-outs and all the shout-outs for the weekend coming, including the birthday reggae tune, because it wouldn't be a Friday without it. So, here's how the quiz works. 5 questions for kids about the weekend news, then 5 questions for adults. Whoever answers the most correct questions wins. Simples. You ready? Let's do this. All right, kids, here are your 5 questions. Question number 1, let's start with a sports question. The Constellation Cup is being played this week between Australia and New Zealand. What's the name of Australia's national netball team? And I'll give you a hint, they're named after a precious stone. Yeah, that's right, they're the Diamonds. Question number 2. We heard on the podcast this week about a special sort of crab that's invading the River Thames in London. What is the distinguishing feature, meaning something you can easily tell it apart, of the crab species in question? Does it have A, googly eyes, B, a bright pink shell, or C, furry claws? Yeah, that's right, it's C, furry claws. Well done if you got that one. Question number 3. We also heard on the podcast this week how a group of European politicians made an unplanned detour on their way to a meeting this week. Where did they end up? And I'll give you a hint. It's known as the happiest place on Earth. It's home of a little mouse called Mickey, and it's just outside of Paris. Yeah, of course, I'm talking about Disneyland Paris. That's a pretty good place to end up. Question number 4. Which pop star released a movie of her current world tour this week and broke all sorts of ticket sales records in the process, both here and overseas? Of course, the one and only Taylor Swift. Question number 5. A big vote took place last Saturday in which all Australians over the age of 18 were asked to respond yes or no to the question of an Indigenous voice to Parliament. Starting with the letter R, what is that vote called? Yeah, that's right, it's called a referendum. How did you go, kids? How many did you get right out of 5? Do you reckon that's enough to beat the adults? Yeah, I reckon so too. Okay, adults, now it's your turn. Fire up the grey matter. Here we go. Question number 1. Which world leader has made a surprising visit to Tel Aviv in Israel this week as a show of his country's support? That's right, I'm talking about US President Joe Biden. Question number 2. Continuing with the theme of jet-setting world leaders, Russia's President Vladimir Putin has made a rare visit to which country this week? Yep, that's right, he's been to China. Question number 3. She says it's not on the cards, but there's talk that one US celebrity may be considering a running for president against Donald Trump in 2024. Is it A, Taylor Swift, B, Kim Kardashian, or C, Oprah Winfrey? Well done if you said C, Oprah Winfrey. Although Kim Kardashian for president, now that would be interesting. Question number 4. Our neighbours across the ditch in New Zealand, Aotearoa, also went to the polls last weekend. What is the name of New Zealand's new Prime Minister? That's testing you, isn't it? His name is Christopher Luxem. Question number 5. And now for a total change of pace after a very politics-heavy adult quiz. Just in time for Halloween, a Minnesota man has grown the world's largest ever pumpkin. How much does that pumpkin weigh? Is it A, 562 kilograms, B, 1,247 kilograms, or C, 1,563 kilograms? Well done if you said B, 1,247 kilograms. That is one large pumpkin. How did you go, adults? How many did you get right? Did you beat the kids? Who won bragging rights this week? If you've missed any of these cool news stories throughout the week and you want to refresh your memory, all of this week's Squiz Kids episodes are available for a re-listen wherever you get your podcasts. Well, that's the end of the quiz, which means it's now time for...
Shout-outs.
It's Friday, October 20. Today marks the 50th birthday of the Sydney Opera House. Happy birthday, Opera House. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids, celebrating a birthday today and over the coming weekend. And there's quite a big list, so I reckon we ought to crack out the old birthday reggae tune. Hit it! And it's a happy birthday today to Ishita from Point Cook, Darcy from Mount Gravatt, AJ from Unanderra, Sai from Canning Vale, River from Weber Downs, Albie from Curraba Point, Drishti from Sydney, and Sammy from Kirrawee. And belated birthday shout-outs go to Aria from Colby and Rochelle from Linden Park. And celebrating a birthday over the coming weekend are Gabrielle from Oran Park, Harrison from Ivanhoe, Bryson from Pitttown, Sophia from Cobberty, Tyler from Elwood, Levi from Coaldale, Oakland from Matong, Skylar from Cronulla, Axel from Forest Lake, Moses from Adelaide, Kavanka from Mitchelton, and Vivi, who's listening all the way over there in Washington, D.C. in the United States of America. Well, that's all we have time for. I hope you're enjoying these quizzes. Don't forget, there'll be a new one dropping first thing every Friday morning. And the best bit, they're absolutely free. Just as all our other excellent content is also free. We're talking a Squiz Kids Today news podcast on Mondays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, a Squiz Kids Shortcut or a Squiz the World every Tuesday, and for all the teachers out there, there's a Classroom Companion, our teacher-produced daily classroom activity sheets. Curriculum aligned and tied to the daily podcast twice a week, now on Mondays and Wednesdays. Genius. Check it all out at squizkids.com.au or simply subscribe to Squiz Kids in your favourite podcasting app and all this groovy content will magically appear. For now though, this is Bryce Corbett signing off and reminding you all to get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.